Hi everybody, Kira here at Unfurl, and today's video is being with a narcissist is like being in a relationship with Vecna. And this is probably only going to make sense if you have watched the show Stranger Things, and if you haven't seen Stranger Things but you want to see Stranger Things, probably don't watch this video. If you have seen Stranger Things, you will know that there's this epic ongoing battle that lasts about 5 seasons between light and dark. And the more I watched the show, the more I saw my relationship with my ex-partner played out. And he used to say to me all the time that I lived in a little bubble called Kira's world, and that I couldn't see the crap in me or in life, and that I lived in this little bubble of denial. And I used to say to him that, okay, that's probably true, that I don't see some of my own stuff, but it's not because I'm a bad person, but because we can only see what we're ready to see about ourselves. And I said, if that's true of me, then that must be true of you as well, that you can't see your own behavior. And he said, I'm fully aware of my own behavior. I am so self-aware. I know exactly what I'm doing. And in my little bubble world, I thought he can't possibly see his own behavior, because if he could see his own behavior, then he would stop doing it. And if you've been in a relationship with a narcissist, you'll know that a lot of time is spent trying to explain to them from every different possible angle what it is that you need and how they can give that to you. And they don't seem to understand it. So you try again from a different angle. So that was how the relationship was. I thought if this person could understand and see what it is they're doing, then they wouldn't do it. But, you know, as I watched Stranger Things and it comes towards the end and you see that there's towards the very end, there's this scene between Vecna and this other character who is representing the light, truth, goodness. And this good character says, you don't have to be this way. You're being used by the darkness, and you can make a choice to break free of that. And the character laughs at him. Vecna laughs and says, why would I want to do that? I don't want to turn away from this. I know exactly what this is, and this is where I want to be. And in that moment, I went, that's it. That's the relationship I was in. And it's what the person was saying to me all the time. They were fully aware of their own behavior. They were really self-aware. And that's what they chose. They wanted to live like that. They were getting what they needed by behaving like that. And they did have a choice, and they knew they had a choice, and they could turn away from that if they wanted to, but they didn't want to. And that was the thing I couldn't get my head around. And that's why we stay in those relationships for so long, because maybe we are over here in bubble land and seeing only the good, seeing the good in other people and seeing the good in ourselves, and suppressing and splitting off from our own shadow. So we spend a lot of time sort of seeing the good in this other person and trying to steer them there because we believe and know the goodness of people. But what happens is, because we've suppressed our own darkness, the darkness actually contains our anger and our ability to set boundaries for ourselves. So by suppressing our light, that's why we end up trapped in those relationships. And then when we allow ourselves to explore our own darkness and we face our own shadow and we meet these parts of ourselves that we have considered bad and wrong, and we allow them, we come into wholeness. And we're no longer willing to put up with darkness that is trying to consume us. So if you are still wrapped up in the struggle, if you're still entangled in the web of narcissistic abuse, it may take a few seasons for you to get out of it. But the fastest way, I guess, and the only way to untangle yourself is to meet your own shadow. And when you meet the shadow in yourself, you can fully accept the shadow in another person. And when I say accept, I don't mean you have to stay with it, but you can actually acknowledge it and see it and recognize how damaging it is for you. And that will be what it takes to get yourself out the door of a really, really toxic and unhealthy environment. All right, lots of love to everybody. If you're in it, I am sending you loads and loads of love, because I know what an absolute head fuck that is. Okay, bye for now.